The stallion? I don't think we rode him because he was just too ornery, but he was riding him up there across that culvert, and all of a sudden Skylark just jumped off to the side of the road and landed in the bottom of that ditch. And he rode him all the way down. Clear down, it seems like it's like 20 feet?
It's about 10 feet.
Is it only 10 feet? Well, that's further back then. But just jumped right off the road down to that ditch. Rider.
They had a Shetland called Trixie, remember her?
Yeah, I remember Trixie, the white one.
She'd go down to Jimmy T's corner and then just spin around and come back, and you couldn't stop her. And so Howard told me, he said, break her to that. So I got pretty close to the corner, and I had my club about that big, around about that long, and I just wrapped the reins around the horn and got that club up like that. When she started to turn, I just drilled her right between the ears, put her right to her knees, and she got up and come right down that barbed wire fence with my leg, and I still got scars on my leg where she took me down that barbed wire fence. I didn't ride Trixie anymore.
Cassie, you can get a seat if you want.
Well, I did that with Brownie. Remember Brownie? She was kind of more lively than Old Lady. Old Lady was kind of tame, except if you got around, she'd kick the crap out of you. But Brownie would do that. She'd go down and act like she shied from something and come roaring back. And Dad used to tell her, he had the truck parked there, and she would try to swipe me off by going around that truck, you know. And he said, I'd be just a scream of bloody murder, you know, coming back down there. I guess they learned from each other because you couldn't stop them. And Dad said, I'd just keep at it. I don't know if I ever broke her of it, but I remember coming back just screaming several times.
Yeah, those wasn't horses for kids, I'll tell you.
You know, I think most Shetlands are that way because they're kids that ride them.
Yeah.
And they found out they could get away with it.
Yeah, just once. And Skylark, Dad got carts after we moved up to Corvallis, and I was riding one time. He was really good. What do you call it? Puller, a harness horse. I guess your dad was the one that first broke Skylark and Lady, I think, as a team. Dad tells a real funny story about your dad saying, oh, this is nothing to this. And they took him out on the sled, no wheels, you know, and just pull him until they work him right down to a sweat. And I don't remember the rest of the story, but they ran on him. And he couldn't believe with this two little horses what they would do and how ornery they were. But Skylark shied with me. I wanted to go this way down the road, and he wanted to go to the left, and he went to the left, tipped the cart over. Could never use him to pull again because he learned the principle there. He could dump whatever, and it didn't matter what he was pulling on. He tried to dump it. Dad was really upset with me. You know what you did, Dad? Well, I'm alive at least. Some fun times. There's a lot of people up there in the bitter up there. One guy became a because a lot of horses.
Oh, you can still hear him.
Steven, she knows.
Is that house still up there? Your old house?
Is it? The people that bought it bought that property, built the house. If you go towards the valley, back down towards the valley, you remember where Neves lived? The house on the corner there.
Oh, fast, thanks.
Remember where the water ran over the...
There used to be a good-looking red-headed girl that lived up on the corner, I remember.
Oh, you're going further up the
Yeah,
road.
I remember her.
Greg, Susan Gregg. Yeah, well, she was
But
too
we'll
old
talk
for me.
about that another time.
But anyway, if you're going back toward Corvallis, remember where the flood was going across the road and you hit it too hard
Hey.
and the car died? Well, we were at home. Mom and Dad were at church. I don't know if any of the other kids were at church or not, but we were at home and it started raining. And I'd step out the back door, others would step out the back door, and the water was coming up towards the back, the floor of the house, you know. So it was getting closer and closer. The little Willow Creek had expanded so much. And the cloudburst up there.
Yeah, don't say I panicked, all right? Don't.
Well, I don't know if you did or not, but I sure as hell did. but, you know, I kept saying, hey, the water's going to be coming to the house pretty soon. And so I went around and got in the car. I don't remember, was it convertible?
Yeah, so.
Was it your car? We got in the car. Well, the cat had taken refuge in the car, up on the motor. The first thing that happened is it shot the cat up. And we all got in the car and headed out of there, and we headed down the road, and there was a little swale and uphill, and our hay bales, we just baled, were out there, and the water was running through that swale. Big, I mean, you know, it's that deep. Maybe it wasn't, it seemed like it.
Well, it was deep enough it was coming way up inside the car.
Yeah, and Alton hit that pretty good. He was probably going slower than I thought he was, but he hit that pretty good, and it got the spark plugs wet. The car stalled, so now he's got to carry us out of the water so we don't wash away.
And the bales was coming down and slamming into the side of the car and almost tipping the car
We were
over.
thinking it was going to go, and he got us all out, and we're standing out there, and Chad turns around, looks at the house, and says, "There goes the house." Because the water was surrounding it, you know, and it did look like it was going. But Alton, he got the hood up and climbed under there and wiped all the spark plugs off, and got her started and carried us all over to the car again. And we headed to church to Hamilton, so it was 10 miles from there. And I had my old short coat on. It had holes in it and everything, and I got elected to go in and get Mom and Dad. And so I went in, and I looked like I just got through milking the cows, and tapped Mom and Dad on the shoulder and said, "Come here." And they stepped out, and of course the bishop or one of his counselors, somebody followed them out. Something was wrong. And I told them the house was gone and everything was flooded. It's terrible. So they came home, but when we got home, it was a culvert, right? Remember, you come out of our driveway, right where the mailbox was, and a little Willow Creek run across there. That was all washed out. I mean, we're talking 10 feet. It's gone. We had to park there because we couldn't get to the house. The house was still there. But mud all over, the lawn was covered. It looked like a lake bottom.
Yeah, that's good. That's flood.
Oh man,
Because I remember that house sitting way up high.
well, it's on a mound.
It was, but it was coming down
from
above.
above.
Yeah, it was sitting on a mound, but you got the creek was only really probably 3 feet below where the house sat.
Yeah.
The top part of the creek, uphill part of the creek. So there was a cloudburst that just dumped it all up there, and it came down. And, I mean, within minutes, it was around the house. It never did go in the house. And then the next thing I hear, Alton got in trouble because he was going to Missoula, and either he threw a firecracker in some other car, or they threw a firecracker in his car. I don't know.
Yeah, it happened up there too. It wasn't just here. It was. I had forgot about that.
You had a convertible, so probably somebody threw it in your car, right?
No, I remember I didn't. It was. I had forgot all about that.
Well, you came up to help Mom and Dad, and you were a big help in that year.
Yes, I thought about that as well.
Yeah, the old house still there, the bunkhouse is...
I drove up there and I could not find that place.
Oh, really?
But I was in the motorhome. It's kind of hard to get around.
Yeah.
But I drove up there and I looked and looked. And I
We
couldn't
went
find
too far.
Well, if you get a chance to do it again, you go into Corvallis, and you probably pick out the Willow Creek.
Oh yeah, I know where that was.
And you made the right turn on Willow Creek? Went across the big ditch?
Yeah, I know which road it was on, and we went up there where I thought it probably was. But there's so many houses up there.
There's a lot more.
Well, and the trees are lots bigger now than they were probably
Yeah.
when you were there.
Yeah, they planted trees there too.
Yeah.
But it's sitting back there. The road's on the other side of the creek, I think, from when.
Oh, they changed the road?
Dad did.
Okay, well that's...
Yeah, because it was up against that hill. We got a lot of drifts. So Dad said, "Let's move across the creek," and
That's
and
probably why I couldn't find it, because I was looking for that corner.
Yeah. Up the hill and then down again. Yeah, it's changed a lot. The house has a lot more trees around it, but it's still. What they did is finish the attic. Dad always wanted to do that, just have one room, you know. And I guess it's a bedroom or something or two up in the attic. And they fixed it up inside, but they built a really beautiful home down past that swale, little corner down there. There's little old houses there, and then they're rolled up in the hill. Dad bought the 160 acres to the north of that. It's all timber for $10,000. That's probably a lot. $80,000
You could probably
an acre.
sell a little bit of timber out of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I got it. I worked because the government, they probably still do it, but the government was paying ranchers to thin their timber. And I got the job at Benedict, and I got some of the money too. And we thinned several acres of it. But I would bet if Dad would have logged it, could have had a paper.
Yeah, I've known people that have done that, bought the land, logged it,
Paid for it.
and then they've got land.
But you go back up that road, you go up onto the dry land, away from the ditch, and up into the timber again there. That's where they built their house. And they're old and decrepit now. And, he died. He's living in Corvallis, so they use it. They leased out the land to the Tinsman down below us there. And kids use our place. And it's under what do you call it? Family protection, so they've always used it. Yeah, except it's some kind of a paper you drop, so it belongs to the family and always will.
That's the only place I ever saw, and I swear this is the truth. The water ran up a hill and irrigated the pasture on top of it.
And that's the truth. Yeah. You can sit and look at that
You
ditch
can
and it
stand-
come right around
yeah.
the hill and just went right up.
Or you could stand down on the road where it went and look up to the pasture up there, and the water ran up to it. That ain't no kidding. That was it.
Power of the priesthood. Then we can sit there.
No, I shoveled that ditch a lot, so it wasn't just a power.
Well, that's it.
Hi there.
Good to see you.
You recognize Alton, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I recognized him as soon as I saw him across the way there.
And Nolan?
Hi. Good to see you.
This is my oldest brother. Yeah. No, I was exactly.
Yeah.
Leaf was born. Were you in California? Dad was in the service there. I think.
Yeah,
She'll be here.
Nobody ever won the ditch that I know of, but boy, you just had to be really good at it.
How much property was there actually more property here when you guys were here? Was some of it sold off, or is it?
Well, Grandpa gave all the sons 20 acres, I think.
Oh, really?
But Dad had this piece of property across the road. I think it was 10 acres or something.
How are you?
Hey, Alice.
Good, how are you?
Good to see you. I want to hug. Alton wouldn't hug me.
I know he wouldn't hug me either. I hugged him anyway.
Recognize anybody on that?
I'd have to put my glass on to even come close.
It's a 1930 census.
1930, huh? Tommy Erickson. Stanley, son. Stanley the youngest?
Yeah, he was.
1930
Wow.
census?
Yeah.
Wow.
Where'd you get a hold of that?
Off the internet. I went over to the Family History Center and got on Ancestry.com.
I understand they can't do that anymore. How you doing?
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Yeah, we just want to do that. They said, "Oh, sorry, you can't even get it on here." I was gonna buy it, you know. But then, in fact, I did. It was an introductory thing. I paid chunk of money for it, I thought. And they said get something from England. They said, no, if you want to go to England, you have to pay this much more. So I said, well, just cancel that.
I think George is coming.
A little bit too commercial.
Linda.
Oh, I'm sorry. How you doing?
Howdy. How you doing?
How you been?
Pretty good.
Oh, you
Find enough to eat. Little slimmer now since the time we got out of the Marine Society.
She's still at home?
She'll be up here.
She'll be here.
Look out, they run to the temple when they're coming around.
Where does she live?
No, I want to cover.
Where does Tanya live now?
Great big ones that worries me. They worry me. But they're nice. They're
That store down here.
Oh, she lives right here close?
Across the road, that store.
The store out there by the ditch. Oh, so she's right here close to you.
Boy, she sure is.
Beautiful.
Is that one is? I'm still this girl.
She's been down there for
The one in the pretty dress.
2-3 years.
Just a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Phyllis's girl.
Is that,
Melanie. I know who Jana Lee. Isn't that Jana Lee?
Yeah, Phyllis. Phyllis is dressed up like a doll.
Yes.
Her hair is reminds me of Barbie.
Oh, that's Phyllis. Bless her heart. She's going to give, oh my Lord, yes, so that's her daughter. Isn't that cute? That's her heart. No, I mean, that's Phyllis.
This is my little daughter. I didn't even pay attention to the turnoff. Next thing I knew, it's almost to Boise.
Oh, no.
So anyway.
You went up the freeway.
Yeah, like, you know, the tree line where you have to, I've never done that. Anyway, and I was trying to have to because I was so tired. And I was like, oh,
Hey, you look cute.
so anyway, adios, Norman, you looking good? Hi. Hi, nice to see you. Yeah, riding horses still? Are you still riding horses? Last time I was here, I think you were. You were still riding horses.
How are you?
So,
I'm not raised yet.
oh yeah. Are you, how old are you now?
90?
Let's see, if my mom's 81, she turned
90,
81.
right?
Are you 90?
You and your wife are both 90?
She locked it. I'm still there.
Yeah.
I'm still there.
91. 91.
She'll be 91 in August.
Oh, yeah. So
Then I let her be boss for a little while.
So who are you? Is she a little bit older than you, or?
he's just a little bit older than her.
Oh, so but you're the
She
same
turned
age.
91
Oh, okay.
And boss.
just a little bit younger, older than you. A couple months.
2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months. And then your wife is 2 or 3 months younger than you?
8.
8 months younger. Oh. You robbed the cradle. I think my dad robbed the cradle.
Now,
10 years difference.
oh
between
really?
my
Oh,
father
now
and
somebody,
my
and
mother.
is it your mom is like Viola's sister or
Sister,
something
yeah,
like that?
yeah.
Oh, and there she is over there.
And then Dad was sort of.
Oh,
Dad was 4 years older than me.
Is that right?
I was 2.
So he'd have been 95, huh? If he was still in there. And he's been gone in 80.
is there anybody between Howard and Norman? So 95, 91, is there anybody in between you guys?
Let's
Or?
see.
No.
I'm the last of the Mohicans.
Last of the boys, right?
No, it's just one of your people right here.
Oh, this is Spencer, my young.
You brought your daughter.
Yeah, she looks pretty cute like that, huh?
Yeah. I thought, well, I didn't want to come because we were going to be late. And I thought, I'll just wear what I'm going to wear.
Way to do it. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
How's it?
take it.
I hope I can
How's it?
figure out how
She
to
looks
use
cute.
my camera when she does the reading.
How's Uncle Melvin?
He's doing good. I'm going to bring him up tomorrow.
Oh, are you good? If you weren't, I was going to go visit with him.
Yeah.
If you bring him, that'd be tremendous.
I'm
You
going to
going to be
try.
able to stay the whole day, or you can look
No,
for him?
I'll only keep him a couple hours or
Oh, I
something.
see.
Rules said to let him eat down there and then bring him up. So what
Okay.
time would they eat, do you know?
Well, I think it's scheduled for 12, but ask Denver.
Oh.
We'll make sure we get
Oh.
Denver's
Yeah.
information, but I think that's when it was scheduled.
Well, you guys were hungry.
Yeah,
weren't
because
you?
I
Yeah,
had
very
to
good.
eat a bunch of sugar to stay awake.
I hope there's some left over
okay,
there. It's going down. But
Yeah, I know the Ericksons are.
Yeah, on the
So-
table on the trees there.
Hi.
So, Dad,
Huh?
Grandpa was the only one that didn't keep his property then and moved to Montana, or did anyone else move away?
Uncle Alvin probably sold his property, didn't he? That Grandpa gave to him? Didn't he give all his sons like 20 acres or something?
Alvin owed had the east part of this 80 acres here. He sold it to Dad.
Oh, Alvin owned it and sold it to your dad. So Alvin had bought it on his own. Because he was the oldest son, right? So he kind of...
Second oldest.
Second oldest, that's right.
James oldest.
That's right. Well, did your dad give 20 acres of the ranch to each of the sons? Okay, and this was
And
what
girls.
Dad got, right? Oh, and the girls too. And Dad got this plus some acreage across the road.
Yeah.
I remember doing potatoes across there. Was it more than 20 acres then with this, or was it
No, they're just 20
just 20 acres? I see.
Bernard had the next one. Stanley's the next one. And Edna the last one.
Oh yeah. Oh, to where the house is, and in this house. So how many of his children have sold their property besides my dad?
Edna. Stanley.
Did Alvin get 20 of it?
He got 20 acres over there in Eugene.
So after he sold the 20 acres to Grandpa, Grandpa gave.
That wasn't figured in.
Oh, I see. I see. And so he had another 20 acres that Grandpa gave him. And he sold that probably when he moved north?
He sold that to Henry.
Oh, so that's where Henry's house is.
Eugene sold his to Henry.
Oh, really? Except for where the house is, where Aunt Vi's house is. Oh. So before Eugene passed away, he sold it. Because Eugene was going to move. Right?
And we were all there. And we figured it out. And he should never figured it out that way. He should have kept it in one place.
As far as Uncle Eugene's place?
Yeah, as far
Oh, yeah.
as we were all concerned.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it never been divided, huh? Put it in a trust or something, so it still had to be in the family. That's not, I'm concerned about Aunt Ollie's place. You know, that's so much a part of the family. It's too bad we can't put it in a trust and make sure she gets what she has coming from it. But it's some
Well,
kind of
she's got a whole bunch of kids up here.
they're living up here.
She had she's got 9 kids running around here somewhere.
9 grandkids.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how what she's figuring on doing.
Well, it's too bad since it's a family, it's not just all of this place, it is Herman's place too. It's too bad as a family we can't get together and say, okay, we're going to pay her for what it's worth, and we're going to put it in a family trust and make sure it stays with the family forever. That way you have the barn, well, I don't know about where the barn is, but we at least have the house where they were raised.
Well, that barn is up for sale for over $100,000.
And has Mike still got it? And he's the one that's got it for sale? It's too bad we couldn't talk him into saying, hey, this is a family thing. Let's keep it in the family somehow. But I know with Mike, you don't do that. Mike is a wheeler dealer.
Mike has got money.
He's a wheeler dealer.
And, we were up to his place, oh, what, a couple of years ago.
Up on the hill? Oh, yeah?
And he's got timber up there. Keep in money for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
he was fixing the road into his timber so he could get it out. He
he's a self-made man. He's made that money himself. He made it the hard way.
And his wife has been right with him.
Yeah.
He's got money in sacks.
I believe it, yeah.
And it's hard to deal with a guy like that.
Yeah. I worked for him, for a while, planting trees, thinning trees too. We worked together somewhat, but he knows how to get people to work.
Yes, he had one missionary, I know, but the rest of us down here we're putting kids on missions, and that helps to keep us in an attitude of dependence on the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One time I was I think I was a foreman for one of his planting crews. We were working on a pretty good side hill, and it was pretty hard work. There was a lot of rocks, we weren't moving very fast. And I was trying to get him to speed up a little bit because I knew the boss was here. All of a sudden he threw I didn't know at the time, there was a half a stick of dynamite behind us. Kaboom! Man, I'll tell you, people woke up really quick. We just about all started running.
He's quite a guy.
Yeah.
No accidents happened or anything?
Huh?
No accidents happened? No peeing the pants or anything like that?
Not that I know of.
I might have.
But a half a stick of dynamite really makes a noise.
Where his house is, there on that hill, the deers come, the moose come, eat on the lawn, wild turkeys.
Does he live in the area, or?
Oh, he's up above Coeur d'Alene. What's the name of the town just north of Coeur d'Alene, where he lives? Just north of Coeur d'Alene, if you look up on the hills to your east, he's that big house up on the hill with that big road going through it. I guess he ticked the whole city off.
He had to fight.
Did he?
Oh yeah.
City Hall to get that.
He's good at fighting. He knows how to do it. He had an island out in the lake.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I thought that was...
He had to fight.
And he won that.
Yeah.
Went all the way to Supreme Court, I think.
Is that the one, is that the island we went to once?
No.
That was a different place? I knew he owned one, I just wasn't sure where.
Yeah, it was something to do with the Indians owned it first, and they were trying to take it away from him, and he had to go all the way through the court system.
Wow.
Won everything. This is, I haven't said hi to Georgia. That's George's daughter sitting there on the gray, right?
And the red shirt is Georgia.
George, and the gray is George's daughter.
Megan is the tall.
Megan, that's right.
They come up from Arizona.
Oh, really?
She's got 3 boys running around here. With the red shirt on there.
Oh.
The blue shirt.
But you were saying that there was one there that was, he's 10 now, and you had to write him in. So it's about 10 years out of date. Janice has it right now. If you just want to kind of glance through it, if you know that you've got some changes on your family that need to be made, just make a note, give me a name and a phone number to call, and then we'll get it updated. Bev and I work for Avis, and we've been called to go on a trip tomorrow, so we won't be here for tomorrow. So I'll do the visit I can tonight.
Okay, I guess we'll start the program. You want to be on there first, Mom? Okay, she does want to be on there. She's really eager. So we'll turn the time over to the Mom.
You want to sit down?
I think Vermont Hospital.
Okay. Summer of '63, sir. Conrad had gone away. Gone to the country town, sir, to sell his first load of hay. I'm start over. Summer of '63, sir, and Conrad had gone away. Gone to the country town, sir, to sell his first load of hay. We lived in a log hut yonder, poor as ever you've seen. Rush in there was a baby, and I was only 19. Conrad, he took the oxen, but he left Kentucky Dell. How much we thought of Kentucky, I couldn't begin to tell. She came from the bluegrass country. Father gave her to me when I rode north with Conrad away from the Tennessee. Conrad lived in Ohio, a German he is, you know. The house stood in broad cornfields, stretching on row after row. The old folks made me welcome. They were kind as kind could be, but they kept longing for the hills of Tennessee. All for the sight of water, the shadowed slope of a hill, clouds that hang on the summit, a wind that never is still. But the level land was stretching away to reach the sky. I'm stuck. North or south to rest weary eye, from east to west no river to shine out under the moon, nothing to make a shadow in the yellow afternoon. Only the breathless sunshine as I looked out all forlorn, only the rustle as I walked among the corn. When I fell sick with pining, we didn't wait anymore, but moved away to the cornlands out to this river shore. The Tuscarora was its called, sir. Off there's a hill you see. And now I've grown to like it next best to the Tennessee. I was at work that morning. Someone came riding like mad over the bridge and up the road. Farmer Brown's little lad. Bareback he rode. He had no hat. He hardly stopped to say, "Morgan's men are coming, Fra. They're galloping on this way." I'm sent to warn the neighbors. He isn't a mile behind. He picks up all the horses, every horse that he can find. Morgan the raider, and Morgan's terrible men with bowie knives and pistols is galloping up the glen. The lad rode down the valley. I stood still at the door. Baby lass in cradle playing with spools on the floor. Kentucky was in the pasture. Conrad, my man, was gone. My horse was in the pasture. On like the wind they hurried, and Morgan rode in advance. Bright were his eyes like live coals as he gave me a sideways glance. And I was just breathing freely after my choking pain when the last one of the troopers suddenly drew his rein. Frightened I was to death, sir. I scarce dared look in his face as he asked for a drink of water and glanced about the place. He gave me a cup and I smiled. He gave me a cup and I smiled. 'Cause I'm stuck.
Don't worry, it happens to all of us.
Kentucky was in the pasture. Conrad, my man, was gone. Nearer and nearer, Morgan's men were galloping on. Suddenly I picked up the baby and ran to the pasture bar. Kentucky, I called. Kentucky. She knew me ever so far. I led her down in the gully that leads off there to the right and tied her to the bushes. Her head was just out of sight. As I came back to the log hut, at once there came a sound. The ring of hoofs, galloping hoofs, trembling over the ground. Coming into the turnpike out from White Woman's Glen. Morgan the raider, and Morgan's terrible men. On like the wind they hurried, and Morgan rode in advance. Bright were his eyes like live coals as he gave me a sidewise glance. And I was just breathing freely after my choking pain when the last one of the troopers suddenly drew his rein. Frightened I was to death, sir. I scarce dared look in his face as he asked for a drink of water and glanced about the place. I gave him a cup and he smiled. 'Twas only a boy, you see, faint and worn with dim blue eyes, and he'd sailed on the Tennessee. Only 16 he was, sir, a fond mother's only son, off and away with Morgan before his life had begun. The damp drops stood on his temples, drawn was his boyish mouth. And I asked him, drawn was his boyish mouth, and I asked him how, something about down in the South. He asked for a drink of water. I gave him a cup and he smiled. I'm sorry,
Just tell us what happened, don't we?
he lost, I gave him a cup and he smiled. I can't remember it. I can't remember it. Well, anyway, he fainted. And I had him in the log hut and worked and brought him to. I fed him and I coaxed him as I thought his mother'd do. And when the lad got better and the sound in his head was gone, Morgan's men were miles away, galloping, galloping on. Oh, I must go, he muttered. I must be up and away. Morgan is waiting for me. Oh, what will Morgan say? But I heard the sound of tramping and kept him back from the door. The ringing sound of horses' hoofs that I had heard before. And on came the soldiers, the Michigan cavalry, and fast they rode and black they looked, galloping rapidly. They had followed hard on Morgan's tracks. They had followed day and night, but of Morgan and Morgan's raiders they never had caught a sight. And rich Ohio sat startled through all those summer days, for strange wild men were galloping over her broad highways. Now here, now there, now seen, now gone, now north, now east, now west, over rivers, valleys, and cornland farms, sweeping away the best. A bold ride and a long ride, but they were caught at last. They nearly reached the river by galloping hard and fast, but the boys in blue were upon them ere ever they gained the ford, and Morgan the raider, laid down his terrible sword. Well, I kept the boy till morning, kept him against his will, but he was too weak to follow and sat there pale and still. And when it was cool and dusky, you'll wonder to hear me tell, but I stole down to that gully and brought up Kentucky Belle. I kissed the star on her forehead, my pretty, gentle lass, but I knew that she'd be happy back in the old bluegrass. The lad got across the border, riding Kentucky Belle. In Kentucky, she was thriving and fat and hearty and well. He cared for her and kept her with whip or spur. Ah, we've had many horses since, but never a horse like her.
We were able to go to Nauvoo last summer, and we saw, they did a bunch of plays, and one of them was called The Sunset on the Mississippi, and this is called The Audition. It's 3 men, boys, whatever, trying out for like a play or something, and I'm just explaining that, so if you can't hear, and normally my 3 boys do it, but one of them is a little shy, so I have to fill in. And then we had to recruit Andrea, so we hope you enjoy it. Okay.
What you doing?
I'm making eggs.
Can I have some?
Why, sure. Then come over to the mic. Say, I think he's dead. Go.
I think he's dead.
Okay, come back over. How was that?
How was it?
You know, I can't quite understand the words. You need to put some more excitement into it.
Okay.
What'd you do?
Make an egg.
Can I have some?
Why, sure.
He's dead.
Can't understand the words. You gotta slow down.
Okay, let's try it again. Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm making
There's just something missing. Maybe you should put some music into it.
Okay. One more time. One second.
What are you doing?
Making eggs.
Could I have some?
Why, sure.
I think I am dying. Yes, he's dead.
I think you guys just might have to hit the road.
Yeah, we're going on chores. We're
I got so many troubles. Ma took the baby downtown to see the things and promised us little ones and the twins, Nattles and Peanuts, that we'd be good and didn't burn the house down when she gets back, and told Liza and Lizzie, who be the twins, that they'd ask make some Lasses candy. The white kind with soda in it. And that's how all the trouble begins. Liza says a little soda. Liza says as much soda as Lasses, and she do it her way. And it ain't long before that Lasses candy's boiling all out of the pot.
Oh, Bernard and I used to sleep in the mangers, in the cow's manger. Used to sleep in the manure spreader after it got dry. We'd sleep up in the hayloft. Mom would say, well, I'd come and wash your sheets for you, but I'd never find where the bed is. There.
So we'll have a...
In the old blacksmith, you know, the tables that they created to win. Wasn't that coke they used in there?
Yeah, it was coke.
Now I got a kicker, and I didn't really know what he was. So that's probably what they used to heat this deal and keep it hot.
Yeah, this guy was talking about making,
Oh yeah, and it was coke. Now that brings back a memory because I was around it a little bit. I don't know if Dad had one.
Yeah, I think he did.
And it was coke that he had in there, not coal. I was thinking
bring
coal.
tents and stuff so they can sleep outside, you know.
Probably at that time started out.
What you have to do,
Maybe so.
don't you?
But he says, yeah, it's because it's
Is your mom going to come? I don't know.
steel comes out stronger.
Yeah. I knew it was used in manufacturing steel, but I didn't know where, but now.
Can't fly here right now.
But that's what he's been doing for what, 20,
Yeah, he's been
25
doing it
years.
Next year comes.
And he's got, he owns a ranch in Kamei, Idaho.
Likes his new mission.
You know where, you know anything about Bo Grice? Remember him? That's where he went. Well, Chad lives on Tim's ranch.
Oh, okay.
Tim owns the ranch, Chad lives there.
Okay.
That's enough on us, boys.
Tim also owns a chunk of property out east of Cedar Road. I always had dreams of going there.
Might have seen up my nose now.
My wife says no, and so there. The old place there, Cedar Woolley.
Well, the Coke business has been good to him then.
Yeah, oh yeah, you bet.
Does he still have the beehives too?
Yeah, that's right. He runs beehives.
The last I heard he had about 400 beehives.
Yeah,
He might have
take
more
them out
than
to
that.
ranches, you know, for farms and farm them out. I remember he gave us some cabbage honey one time.
Cabbage honey.
Tastes just like cabbage.
Oh,
oh my land. You imagine eating
We bought some from him. It was a blackberry honey.
Yeah,
Because
good.
that's where they pollinated off of. Was
Yeah, so it tastes like
interesting.
knapweed is a noxious weed, or you familiar with that? Well, that makes the best honey in the world. In fact, there's a rumor that in Montana, where it's really bad in the Bitterroot and Missoula, the beekeepers brought it in from Europe. But now it's a major problem. It's taken over the mountains, the elk don't have any feed. And of course, what do you call them? The hippies don't want anybody to spray it to kill it.
Yeah, to kill their marijuana.
That wouldn't be natural. Yeah, wipe out the crop.
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's destroying things. Kind of like with logging, they don't want anybody to log, so they don't log, and now they burn the whole mountain. Keep it thinned down.
Toby comes down and mows the lawn and helps me with stuff that's hard to pick up. And when you come and mow the lawn, I've got a black bag with
And they won't admit that that is the cause. We got Bitterroot Face. Remember, all the years we were there, and all the other years until 2000, we had no major fires on the Bitterroot Face that's west facing the slopes. There were some little patches, but before that there were clear cuts. People got upset about clear cuts, and the Forest Service started changing their position. And pretty soon you can't clear cut anything, and then you can't log anything. Now we've got these
come from the youngest one of my children. Okay. And her mother's redheaded, and so is her older
It comes from her side of the family.
I gotta come somebody. Get Uncle Norman.
Have you seen that train? I saw you driving it. That's cool.
I know this is the older one. I'll let you. I know her. So as long as Daniel.
Amanda.
What?
They're all A's.
Well, you can turn it off from the individual spigots. So you just walk over to that
Angela.
on the fence. Just turn the valve and shut it off. If you want to turn the whole thing out, go by the driveway.
And all the boys start with this
Well, you probably
and the girls
It's the kiddie train. I'm filming this, Dad, if you're watching this now, so that you'll make those for the reunion. I'm gonna go up later and get a pattern for him. Yep. And this probably looks weird because people think I'm talking to myself while I'm holding this, so I'm gonna be quiet now. Just the shop Grandpa built. That is Round Top, and we drove by it, and Dad was telling us that him and Leaf used to ride the Shetlands up there, up to the top of it, and there used to be lots of rattlesnakes and stuff, so thought that was cool.
And so they must get much faster. I know that there was paperwork that Dean and Amanda were going to have to fill out. That was going to have to do it, help them, whoever they are. And then they go before, then they have to go before a court case.
And then do they have to wait at all?
Where did your ball go? Let's go back your ball.
Hey, Dallas' son, remind me your name again.
Spencer.
Spencer?
How's it going?
Is that a digital thingy that you're using?
Yeah, it's a digital and a camcorder.
Because you know what? I didn't even get pictures of I'm trying to learn to use my kid's camera.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how to use it, so I got just a couple seconds.